How do you handle pressure, Walter?
When you're not prepared in something, that's when the pressure mounts up.
So do you think that same philosophy and concept applies to business? Did we get Tracer on that? Because that's never going to happen again. How do you handle pressure, Walter? How do you handle pressure being on the tee? How do you handle pressure in the boardroom? How do you handle pressure at home?
I think you have to embrace pressure.
Sure.
I think from an athletic standpoint, it's been one of those things of trusting your preparation, right? I think when you're not prepared in something, that's when the pressure mounts up. That's when the stress mounts up. And I think it's very transferable to the family dynamic as well, to not knowing something, right? I think the better prepared you are for the situation or circumstance, I think subsidize the pressure that you may be feeling within that particular type of space. And so that's kind of something I've always kind of relied on and kind of brought into my world, into my life. Yeah.
That's amazing, because that question was for me. I literally am thinking about this drive right now. So that wasn't even a question for the show. That was for me, but thank you for that. That actually helped a lot.
Yeah, that's a fairway shot.
Did we get Tracer on that? Because that's never going to happen again. Hey, did you say you're a golf coach?
Hey, that's it. Once upon a time.
Here you have it. Walter, Thurmond III, gave me golf advice, and I did not drive it into the woods.
Fairway finders out there.
Are you an accuracy guy or are you a power guy?
A little bit of both. Again, it just depends on the day. Golf is very fickle like that. You know, it's like, some days the power's all there.
Yeah.
Power with no accuracy is not a good thing. You just bomb a 300 drive into the woods there, you're swinging again.
Okay.
So if I had to, I prefer to be accurate, right? Because at least it's like you give yourself an opportunity out of the short grass.
Sure.
You give yourself an opportunity to score.
Sure.
It's always tough trying to punch out and hit something out of the trees, even if you do get a monster drive out there.
So do you think that same philosophy and concept applies to business?
I think it does. I think you have to find it's all about balance. I think it's where the flow is. I think it's where your skill set is. I think it's the team dynamic as well, as far as how much power you can bring to a situation or to a product or to a thing to be able to execute that aspect. Or maybe obviously accuracy, right? Because if you're not accurate in that product or that approach, again, it's not going to be able to hit with your consumer there too. So sports is very transferable to business and life in that capacity. And I think people who are athletes, I think golf is a great mediator of seeing what type of person you are from a playing standpoint. And, it's stuff that can be transferred into just business, into family life.
How do you compare being on an NFL team to golf, where you're kind of on your own? You don't really have anybody that can, fill in the gaps. You're on an island versus being on a team where you're like on a boat where you can rely on others.
Team sports, you can hide sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially if you haven't put the time and effort in to get your skill set where it needs to be, to help your team be able to win. Mm-hmm. And I think golf is that aspect of such individualized to where you do have to focus on your own individual skill set. So I think it's very complimentary to people who play team sports or even in business in that capacity, right? Mm-hmm. What are you doing to better your game?
Sure.
Right? That you're going to be able to bring it back to football. Getting ready for the off season. What am I doing from a work ethic standpoint to get myself ready to go out there and not give up touchdowns, to not get beat on third down for that offense to move the chains? Golf just reminds you of being, how technical it is, but your success is relying on your consistent, skill set towards it, but your mental focus towards it.
Sure.
Your calm.
Sure.
That mental load as well. So I think it's very transferable to what happens in golf when you carry it out into a different sport, or you carry it out to your household, or you carry it out to your business. Yeah.
Absolutely. How has your discipline in football made you a better executive?
It's allowed me to understand the team dynamic, because you can't do anything without a team. You have this thought process and concept that gets constantly floated out there of, I'm self-made. No one's not really self-made, because it takes people to help you progress yourself. I think with the athletes make great, executives and business leaders, because they do understand the concept of team.
Sure.
The importance of the person who's a CMO, the importance of someone that's the sales rep in logistics in that capacity, right? Being able to cultivate the right personnel together to be successful in that.